Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions and commemorations. Today, we are commemorating World Glaucoma Day, which is observed on March 12th every year across the world. This is an important day that seeks to raise awareness about the group of eye diseases known as glaucoma. The day is part of the week raising awareness about the disease and ensuring that it is caught early. Early detection of glaucoma improves the chances of stopping or at least slowing the disease down with appropriate treatments. The blindness caused by glaucoma is irreversible, but if caught early, the disease can be treated and people will not have to endure the difficulties of blindness when it is prevented. World Glaucoma Day is observed on March 12th every year. This day is observed worldwide as part of the week set aside to raise awareness and eliminate blindness caused by glaucoma. Glaucoma is the name of several eye diseases that can cause visual loss by damaging the optic nerve. Often the diseases develop slowly and don't cause any pain, which makes it easy to ignore till it's too late. Blindness caused by glaucoma is irreversible. However, the disease is treated if caught early. Damage caused to the optic nerve by glaucoma can be treated to halt the progression of the disease or at the very least slow it down. While there are some causes of glaucoma that have sudden onset, most of the time these diseases develop gradually and can be caught in time to prevent blindness. The leading cause of glaucoma is a buildup of fluid that causes an increase in pressure in the eye. Glaucoma disease is caused when the aqueous humor, a natural fluid produced by the eye, fails to drain out naturally from the eye. Usually, the fluid drains out of the eye and is replaced with fresh aqueous humor. which the eye produces constantly. However, if something is wrong with the drainage angle, then the fluid will be retained in the eye, and over time the fluid buildup will increase the pressure on the optic nerve. The fibers on the optic nerve start dying as a result of the pressure. Over time, all the fibers die, causing total irreversible blindness. Hippocrates notes a type of blindness in the elderly and calls it glycosis, the earliest record of glaucoma in 370 BC. British surgeon Bannister identifies the link between eye pressure and glaucoma in 1622. Dr. Franciscus Donders identified intraocular pressure as causing the disease and names it glaucoma simplex in 1862. Pilocarpine is discovered and used as a part of treatment for glaucoma in 1875. Glaucoma has no cure, but it is treatable if it's caught early. What are the warning signs of glaucoma? Seeing halos around lights, vision loss, redness of eye, tunnel vision are some of the warning signs of glaucoma. On average, it takes about 10 to 15 years for people to go fully blind after the onset of glaucoma. Many people ignore minor issues with their eyes if they are not accompanied by pain. Educating people about the symptoms of glaucoma is essential. If you are a healthcare professional interested in preventing and addressing glaucoma, there are a lot of resources, including courses. Take an online course over at the World Glaucoma Association to brush up on your knowledge. Get patients and doctors involved in a social media campaign on this day, including screening camps that raises awareness about the disease. Make sure you have Q&A question to ensure all the information gets out there. Glaucoma is incredibly common and one of the leading causes of blindness in the world. The likelihood of you contracting glaucoma increases as you get older with other risk factors, including family history and use of steroids. Depending on how the blockage forms, glaucoma has three types: open angle glaucoma, angle closure glaucoma, and normal tension glaucoma. Treatments for glaucoma include eye drops to lower the eye pressure or reduce the amount of fluid, and laser surgery to create drainage for the fluid. Treatments include drugs and surgery. While the likelihood of contracting glaucoma increases with age and with several risk factors, almost everyone is at risk of contracting the disease at all stages of their lives, and everyone is at risk. We think everyone should be aware of the dangers of glaucoma and how preventable it is. We want to help prevent blindness by assisting people with getting diagnosed. We think that the World Glaucoma Association does a lot of incredible work providing free resources to educate people about the disease. We want to honor their efforts and spread the word. Many doctors use this opportunity to provide healthcare information free of charge. We want to learn from them and ensure that they were preventing the development of glaucoma in people. This week is commemorated as Glaucoma Awareness Week from World Glaucoma Week from March 10th to 16th, 2024, this year. World Glaucoma Week is a global initiative organized by the World Glaucoma Association, and they invite partners, eye care providers, health officials, and the public to join forces in organizing awareness activities worldwide. Glaucoma is the leading cause of preventable blindness, and distinct challenges may be present in different regions of the world. Our goal is to alert everyone to have regular eye and optic nerve checks to detect glaucoma as early as possible because there are available treatments for all forms of glaucoma to prevent visual loss. This year theme for World Glaucoma Week or World Glaucoma Day is Uniting for a Glaucoma Free World, focuses on bringing communities worldwide to fight together against glaucoma blindness. Become involved and be part of these activities organized all over the globe. Help us awareness to raise awareness worldwide and learn more about glaucoma. Think global, act local. Each year, the World Glaucoma Week adopts a common theme, which is adapted to the local conditions and yet unifies efforts. To be effective, community awareness projects need to be relevant for the general population. That means they need to be based locally and thus rely on the individuals in each location to be actively involved, adopting the unifying global message into local culture. Eliminating glaucoma blindness. To eliminate glaucoma blindness, there are several issues that needs to be addressed. Glaucoma usually gives no warning until it is advanced, but the damage it causes to vision is ongoing and could become irreversible. Unfortunately, for many patients, treatment can halt the damage. That means the earlier the diagnosis, the more vision there is to save, and less likely the person is to become blind. Therefore, the World Glaucoma Week aims at alerting members of the broader community to the need of a regular, simpler eye checks which allow earlier detection and hence save lives. Today is also commemorated as World Day Against Cyber Censorship. On March 12th, cyber censorship blocks or limit access communication and access to certain information on the internet. Governments claim to do this for security purposes, but it's often a means of suppressing dissent by censoring and denying citizens their right to free speech, association, and mobilization. The internet is a powerful tool for reporting, awareness, and activism. It spreads information quickly and connects millions of people worldwide at the push of a button. So we must protect freedom on the internet. Censorship on the internet is a relatively recent phenomenon. The Communications Decency Act passed by the US government in 1996 make it illegal to post material to the internet that was deemed patently offensive or indecent. The majority of the act was found unconstitutional, but Section 230 was not. Social media platforms, internet providers, and other intermediaries' responsibility for their users accessing or sharing was reduced under Section 230. 2 years later, the US passed the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, criminalizing the dissemination of technology that bypasses copyright protection. Critics have long argued that the DMCA limits free expression and fair use of copyright material. Another argument is that it restricts technological innovation and scientific research. The Chinese Ministry of Public Security launched the Golden Shield Initiative in 1998, limiting citizens' access to content the government deemed disruptive or national leadership. The Golden Shield evolved into so-called Great Firewall of China, considered the most exhaustive online censorship program. Specifications for the Internet's first virtual private network were published online in 1999. Internet users can now access private networks across the public networks, initially used by companies to share personal services with satellite employees and officers. VPNs soon became popular, and individual users avoid online censorship and age restriction. By 2015, the US Federal Communication Commission FCC had approved a net neutrality order that assigned ISPs as common carriers and banned discriminatory throttling or blocking. The net neutrality order was challenged in 2016 and survived, but the FCC repealed the order in 2017. In the same year, China began suppressing VPN services, making them more challenging for activists, researchers, students, and business people who relied on them to surpass the Great Firewall. Cyber censorship has increased worldwide in recent years. It's unlikely the debate around it will die down anytime soon. The development of onion routing. The US Navy develops onion routing, encrypting data packets and creating onion like layers of security in 1995. The US government passes the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in 1998. During the Arab Spring in Egypt, the government shut down all internet access to suppress information on protest and human rights violations in 2011. The Freedom House organization reports that over a third of countries have received lower online freedom scores, meaning an increase in cyber censorship worldwide in 2018. Online censorship is the suppression or control of information, including rights to access and publish. Internet censorship affects the corporations and entrepreneurs, journalists, and activists. You can avoid internet censorship by using VPNs or proxies before going online. So, a virtual private network or VPN enhances your security and privacy by protecting your digital footprint. VPNs are effective against surveillance in countries where government censors the internet. Discuss ways around internet censorship with others, talk about VPNs and Tor, and how to help people themselves online. You can share these solutions on social media to target a wider audience and start a conversation on cyber censorship. Verifying information before circulating it goes a long way towards stopping the spread of propaganda and disinformation. It only takes a few minutes of research, report content that violates the guidelines of forum where it gets posted. 1.72 billion people are affected by internet censorship every day. In Asia, 30 out of 46 countries have limited access to social media. In Australia and Oceania, there are no recorded social media bans. 1 out of 3 countries report systematic social media restrictions. China is ranked as the worst country for internet freedom. Authorities impose strict prism terms on independent reporters, activists, and online dissidents. The more corporations and governments know about us, the more power they have. Our data is used in many ways by the third parties and can shape our opinions and behavior. It is essential to protect that information. Privacy is a fundamental human right. It's easy to disregard online censorship, yet it has an impact on all of us. It's only a matter of time after you let third parties pick what stuff you can access until they touch or something that directly impacts you. Today, an outspoken politician or activist might be silenced for raising difficult subjects. You won't be able to check social media for news updates tomorrow. Restricting messages, websites, opinion limits your right of expression and thought. People may fear criticizing or even discussing specific topics that are censored. Protecting freedom on the internet protects free speech, expression, and association. Today is also commemorated as National Working Moms Day in US. It is a day to celebrate all the mothers that work for their children, the teachers, the doctors, the accountants, the cashiers, and yes, even the housewives and homemakers. All of them work, all of them are role models. Even beyond their paid jobs, mothers tend to assume the roles of substitute teachers, first aiders, cooks, cleaners, and more. This is why, inspired by the working moms of Milwaukee organization, we support their business, recognize all they do, and express how much it means on this day. Working Moms of Milwaukee was founded in December 2017 by a local mom who needed some more support. After talking with her working mom, she realized that there was a large community need for a local organization that combined several core elements. Mothers in Milwaukee who work full time, part time inside the home or outside of the home, networking with other moms from different backgrounds, fields, and professions to make it easy to network online and in person. Socializing in time frames that work for busy families, appealing events that celebrate Milwaukee and encourage authentic connectors, support and share daily working women experiences. With others like them, blog and social media content that's relatable and useful for working moms, and an organization that addresses the needs of working moms in their community. Each year, a group of moms get together to talk about issues that matter to moms in the community. In 2020, they noticed there was a need to celebrate and recognize working moms on a larger scale, so they decided to create their own celebration. After the interest they received in Milwaukee, the working moms decided to expand the celebration and resources to people all over the country in 2022. That the year alone, they gave over $1,000 in giveaways and prizes, got media attention from sites such as yahoo.com and Journal Sentinel, got tweeted by celebrities such as Jane Pauley, got 5,400 views on Working Moms Day content on TikTok and had over 60 local moms at an in person event for a celebration. So, a group of moms realized that they need more support and create this group to help each other and Working Moms of Milwaukee in December 2017. March 12th is officially proclaimed as National Working Moms Day. On March 7, 2020, the Wisconsin governor officializes the festivity. The March date complements the timing of International Women's Day as well as Women's History Month on March 12, 2020. The celebration expands to the whole country. Over $1,000 is given in giveaways and prizes this year alone on March 12, 2020. Working mothers are frequently pressured to work longer hours and they burn out, and working women struggle the most. Flexibility, good benefits, and a competent boss are the top three things women desire to be able to work and care for their children in the future. A study published by the American Psychological Association revealed that mothers with jobs tend to be healthier and happier than those who stay at home during their children's infancy and preschool years. There isn't a more direct way of supporting a working mom than this. Make sure to congratulate her on this day and show your appreciation. If you own a business yourself, you can do an exclusive promotion for moms on March 12th. For example, a discount or a free yoga class. Remember to use the hashtag Working Moms Day to let working moms at Milwaukee know. Look for the moms network like the Working Moms of Milwaukee and see if they have any events planned. If they don't, or there isn't a moms network in your town, why not make your own? There is rough number of mothers of 82.5 million in the United States. Each person has a different reason for adopting children. 2% of those mothers have adopted. A baby's first sound is usually ma. For this reason, the word for mother begins with the letter M in almost every language. 70 years is the age of the oldest mother who gave birth. She opted for in vitro fertilization. 40 hours a year is the time a mother spends a year changing diapers. On 40 hours a year is the time the mother spends a year changing diapers on average. Even inside the house, the rest of the family can take care of what a mom usually does. So she can relax. It's a good opportunity to teach kids how to do these things too. Now, we are not supporting they are ungrateful or anything like that. But young children are the most likely to not consider all the things their mothers do. What moms will probably want the most on this day is for their own children to appreciate them. It's more than just about your wife if you are a married man, or if you are a woman as well. Celebrate all your friends who have children, your grandma, your aunt, and even your next door neighbor. It celebrates all moms. Today is also commemorated as National Plant a Flower Day in US. Flowers make us an infinity nicer and happier bunch. We love how they are just meant to bloom, no questions asked. The flower's approach to life is worth emulating. Not only do they bring us joy, but there's a flower for virtually every mood. Whether expressing grief, love, gratitude, or appreciation, flowers say it best when the birds fail us. So let's spread the love and plant more flowers. This National Plant a Flower. Flowers have changed the face on the earth quite literally ever since they made an appearance in the Cretaceous period over 145 million years ago. Before flowers, the world was abundant in ferns and conifers, an endless expanse of green Eden. Thanks to the insects and dinosaurs plowing their way across, flowers diversified rapidly. The explosion of plant varieties and color cascaded into the birth of several plant families we know today. Flowering plants are vital to existence. They are food sources that provide humans and animals the sustenance we need to survive. More than anything, flowers have an uplifting quality that captures the imagination. Many flowers bloom just for a short period, usually in spring or early summer. Although short lived, few things compare to the beauty of flowers in full bloom. Perhaps their transcendent yet incomparable beauty inspired the symbolic meanings of flowers across various world cultures. Across civilizations, flowers have retained certain myths and symbolism. Their fragility has come to represent death or new life. Sometimes they represent gods and goddess too, but there's no denying how flowers in full bloom are a universal expression of joy. During the late 1800s in Europe, a new concept around the flowers became popular. These stunning blooms became a way to represent people's feelings. Communicating through flower arrangements helped articulate the unsaid. Soon, code books to decipher the language of flowers would make communication easier. For example, a field clover meant, when can I see you again? A rose petal meant, yes, green flowers sign the receiver's heart was made of stone. The days of complex flower codes may be long gone, but flowers continue to bring joy and meaning to our lives. We may never know who came up with the national plant a flower day. The real question isn't why, but why not? About 155 million years ago, the first flower blooms on the earth and make an appearance. In Europe, the idea that the flowers represent feelings grows into an elaborate language of flowers. Flowers as expressions of sentiment since 1800s. Vincent van Gogh paints five different versions of sunflowers in a vase in between 1888 to 1889. Elizabeth Zimmer, a microbiologist, traces a common ancestry of all flowering plants to a woody plant called Umbrella trichopoda in 1990s. National Flower Day is also commemorated on March 21st, celebrates the first official day of the spring. It's a day to bid farewell to winter, look forward to sunny weather. Planting flowers is a great way to commemorate this day. People also send flowers to loved ones or spend time in nature surrounded by flowers. President Ronald Reagan declared the rose as the United States national flower on October 7, 1986. Flowers that bloom and die in one day are the tropical hibiscus, the Virginia spiderwort, hibiscus flowers, and daylilies. Today is a perfect day to start a garden at home. Plant a flower or several if you have feeling ambitious. Depending on where you are in the world, choose flowers best suited for planting in March. Take a long walk in park or garden today. Treat your senses to the sight, sounds, and smells of spring. Make your trip down to your neighborhood florist or farmer's market. Take the opportunity to ask questions: which flowers are in season? How best to grow them? Bring back a bunch of favorites to brighten those empty lots at home. Keep them away from pets since hydrangea leaves release cyanide when eaten, toxic bloom bombs. An official hydrangea fan club, hydrangea enthusiasts can become members of the American Hydrangea Society. The flower is always thirsty. The name hydrangea means water vessel in ancient Greek, referring to the flower's incredible love for water. Whether blue, purple, or pink, gardeners need to be a perfect soil's pH to get the desired colors. Their colors depend on chemistry. Although originally from Japan, hydrangeas are found all over the world and they grow everywhere. So, National Plant a Flower Day officially welcomes warmer weather. It's a symbol of new life and enthusiasm to meet the rest of the year head on. All of us need what kind of energy in our lives? More flowers, more life. Planting more flowers not only makes the world beautiful but ensures life on it survives. Flowers make perfect gifts. They help us express what we are unable to say loud. Today is National Organize Your Home Office Day in US, which is observed every year on second Tuesday of March. This is a day to clean up the mess that has accumulated in our home offices and to establish a productive and healthy working environment at home. Almost all of us have been used to working from home since the start of pandemic. But how frequently do we pay attention to keeping our belongings in proper placements and keeping our home office clean? If you have been putting off organizing your files and clearing the tiny area where you work every day, now it's time to do. We are sure you will be satisfied with the work once it gets completed. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have spacious home office in which to work after hours because they cannot afford a private workspace. Around 51% of the Americans work in their beds. In this circumstance, it is crucial that we return our belongings to their proper places so that our office can revert to being our bedroom. National Organize Your Home Office Day is the ideal time to clean out our drawers, wipe down our desks, file those loose pages that have accumulated, and recycle our used soda cans. Further, studies show that working in a clean, tidy environment can increase productivity and minimize work related stress. There is no clever evidence as to how the concept of a home office originated. However, it is speculated that it became more widespread as the gig economy gained momentum in the late 2000s. The COVID 19 outbreak has confirmed individuals all around the world to their homes, making work from home the new normal. Now, almost everyone working in a corporate setup, educational institutes, or freelance has a home workspace. While it serves as a more flexible and convenient option for most of us, we must not take it for granted. After all, what's the harm in making your home office work friendly? Even better, keep the clutter under control on a regular basis. This way, the dirt and mess don't pile up and you don't have to wait for a special day to get it all done at once. Today is also commemorated as National Girl Scout Day in US. Whether your favorite flavor is minty, thin, minty, mints, or ruby tagalongs, we can all agree that the Girl Scout cookies make the world go around. They are so good they deserve a holiday and they have one of the sorts. Get ready to celebrate this March 12th because it's National Girl Scout, part of the Girl Scout Week. National Girl Scout Day commemorates the anniversary of the first Girl Scout meeting. In 1912, Juliet, Juliet Daisy Gordon Low organized a meeting in Savannah, Georgia, and Girl Scouts have only grown from there. So grab a cookie or 12 and get ready to celebrate. Today is also commemorated as Equal Pay Day in US, but the date changes every year. However, Equal Pay Day is an annual observance that symbolizes the ongoing issue of pay disparity and the wage gap between men and women. The date itself symbolizes how far into the year must women work to make as much as men during previous year. As such, the holiday usually occurs March or September. Today is also commemorated as Aztec New Year in Mexico. Aztec New Year in Mexico falls on March 12th every year. It signifies the start of New Year. According to Aztec calendar, we often imagine time as a linear concept, a straight line running from point A to B. The Aztecs took a radically different view. Time was a force, it provided energy and change. Time was often a harbinger of miracles. The Aztecs viewed it through a lens of continual creation, destruction, and regeneration. Given the ebb and flow of life itself, we think they were spot on. Aztec New Year celebrates an ancient culture whose ideas still find resonance today. Finally, today is the last. This is the last commemoration for the day, Alfred Hitchcock Day in US. Known as the master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock is a pioneering film industry director who brought us some of the favorite classical horror movies films. From the 39 Steps to Psycho, Hitchcock developed innovative filmmaking techniques that influenced generations of future filmmakers and changed the way we view horror and mystery. Hitchcock directed over 50 films throughout his career and introduced world to iconic characters, film shots, and directional conventions, drawing on his Austrian childhood and exact parents as well as the work of German expressionists. Artist Hitchcock became an expert at nerve-wracking response, twist endings, and psychologically complex characters. Born in London at the dawn of 20th century, Alfred Hitchcock grew up in an Austrian Catholic family. With a childhood he later described as lonely and sheltered, throughout this later life, elements of this childhood, such as being forced by his mother to stand at the foot of her bed as punishments, made their way into the films. Hitchcock first got into British film industry as a title card designer for silent films, later becoming an assistant director. He directed his first feature in 1925 and never looked back. By 1913, he relocated to Hollywood and worked on one of his best loved movies, Rebecca. He continued to churn out hits like The Birds and Psychos, scandalizing and tantalizing audiences worldwide. Hitchcock remained active throughout his life. In 1960, he was inducted into Hollywood Walk of Fame with 2 stars for TV and film. He is widely recognized as the most influential director of all time. He was knighted in 1979 shortly before his death in his sleep in his Los Angeles home. Since Hitchcock was born in August, the origins of March 12th as National Alfred Hitchcock Day remain a mystery, a fitting tribute for the master of suspense himself. So with this, we shall close the commemorations for the day. We thank you everyone for joining us on this wonderful occasion. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before you leave the platform. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.